to a top 10 countdown of the best resources that I recommend you pick up that you can use without a monthly subscription, ones that you can study almost basically this entire list. You can be sitting on the crapper and still improving your poker game. "20 minutes later."
Sean, are you okay in there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to learn how to best maximize my value.
Let's get into it, starting with number 10. All right, coming in at number 10, we have How to Study Poker by Sky, and I may say this name wrong, Sky Matsuhashi. Now, How to Study Poker is excellent, and the reason it's good is that it's going to teach you what you're doing wrong in your game. So let me give you an example. I play basketball, not well, but I play for fun. It's just a good way to exercise. And let's say I wanted to improve my free throw shot. So I go to the gym and I spend 2 hours a day just taking shots at the hoop. Now I might get a little better. I might become more accurate over time, but there's no guarantee that I'm actually improving myself. I'm just, or maybe I am, but probably, only so much as my technique is right, as my practice is quality practice. If I go in there and I, have horrible practice, the 2 hours are valuable to some degree, but maybe not so much. If I'm shooting granny style the whole time, when I get into a game and I'm being defended, that granny style shot's probably getting stuffed every time. So the point being, with this book, it's going to teach you what you're doing in your game and how you can best maximize your time. So that, some people maybe are putting in 2 hours away from the table and getting so much out of it. You could be putting in the 1 hour and getting the same amount out of that. There's a huge value to getting the most out of your time away from the table, because initially you're going to spend a ton of time studying and a little bit of time at the table, and that shifts over time to where at some point you'll have it even, and then eventually you're going to get to the point where you're mostly playing and you're doing a little bit of studying for all of your play. Now, you should always be studying, you should always be improving, I believe, and this book will teach you how to teach yourself, and that is the biggest value that this resource has. So pick that one up. It is, now I've got prices on all of these. So I found these, and I checked the eBay. You can buy this book used for $13. By the way, this whole list you should be able to get for under $400. And if you were to think about what it's going to cost you to pay a training site, $50 to $100 a month, you're looking at maybe $600 to $1,200 over the course of a year. And you'll pay for this one time, teach yourself how to study, and then just continue to reuse your resources. Doesn't mean you can't expand or do more, but for under $400, you are going to be set to go for a very long time with a lot of material. The next resource that I'm going to recommend to you guys at number 9 is Brad Owen's Poker Vlog. Ton of good vloggers out there, ton of people making content, but the thing that Brad Owen does well, first of all, his stuff is super entertaining. It's fun to watch. He has a great ability to connect you into it and let you have fun with it. And but what I like about Brad Owen is he's willing to tell you when he is losing, when things are not going his way, which in poker that happens. And so it's easy to watch these vlogs and think, man, these guys always win. They're not being honest with you if they're always reporting wins. You're gonna get your butt kicked. There's just times where you're gonna go into the poker room, you're gonna be feeling great, everything's been going your way, and you're just gonna take it in the shorts. It's just gonna be a terrible day, and there's nothing you can do about it. Maybe you play perfectly, but you're just gonna get busted by a second. You're gonna have the second best hand when they have the nuts, and you're gonna end up calling for a lot of chips, and you'll be down. And so the cool thing about Brad Owen is he's going to give you that as well. I love his hand analysis. He'll give you more than a lot of these guys will. He's going to really break down his thought process more and give you kind of that heads up. This is a light, fun, free resource. It's really to help you digest more poker for free. But hey, number 8 on our list is a book called Play Optimal Poker. It is by Andrew Brokus. And if you have ever listened to the Thinking Poker podcast, is one of the hosts there. He has a lot of good content. Their interviews are cool. That podcast is valuable. But this book is really neat. It's going to give you GTO, so game theory optimal ideas, packaged into a book. And he breaks down through the use of toy games, which are like little simulations and demonstrations of pieces of game theory, what you should be doing to maximize your game at the table. So definitely recommend this one. It's going to give you a kind of a base understanding of GTO so you can build from there. It's going to help you to analyze a situation and say, which role do I have? A lot of times there's someone's range will be wide, right? They can have both the bluffs. They have an uncapped range of bluffs and value hands, and other people that are capped. They're calling. They're trying to get the showdown, and so it is not a perfect. You can't just say every time it's always that way, but these games will give you a really good idea of where you're at, help you to analyze your game, and when you're in a spot that's difficult or challenging, you can think about this theory that he's given you and say, which role do I have? How do I best play this? And how do I not make big mistakes that cost me money? All right. That is number 8. Coming in at number 7, we have Modern Poker Theory. It is by Michael Acevedo, and the book is excellent. It's a comprehensive compilation of charts, pre-flop strategies, post-flop strategies, tournament strategies, bet sizing, when to donk lead. I mean, all kinds of things that are packaged into this book. You can go from start to finish, read it cover to cover, and you will get a ton out of it. It's going to give you just a lot of resources, and I think the most valuable part of this is to look at those charts and look at all that book is packed with graphics that are going to help you to analyze your expected value in a lot of situations, your ranges, your opponent's ranges, and to really understand where you're at in the hand. Okay, coming in at number 6 on our countdown is Exploitative Play in Live Poker by Alex Fitzgerald. Alex Fitzgerald he is a coach working with Jonathan Little, if you have ever seen their work, and he is, the beauty of this book, let me go back, by the way. Play Optimal Poker, $25. Modern Poker Theory is $26 on eBay. And Exploitative Play, this book, $23. Okay, let me get back to where I was. The beauty of Exploitative Play, this book, is that it's going to tell you that you might be playing game theory optimal, and the idea behind that is to make money when your opponents make mistakes. Well, this is going to tell you that, perhaps that strategy will make you money. You might be missing out, if you're playing like a computer, on exploiting a weakness in someone else's game. And when you take advantage of that weakness, you'll make even more money. So it really helped me. I listened to this one on Audible. I didn't actually purchase this book. I own most of the rest of these as a hard copy. But this book was really good at helping me to rethink how I was approaching the game, where I don't just want to be a computer all the time. I want to identify problems or weaknesses in other people's games and find strategies and means to beat those and to take advantage of the mistakes that they're making to maximize my profit at the table. Really good book. Highly recommend it. Let's get into number 5. We're halfway through. So Elements of Poker by Tommy Angelo is number 5. Now, if you are a beginner, if you are just getting started, this is number 1 on my list for you. You should definitely check out this book. It's going to walk you through poker terminology, some of the basic stuff. It has a lot of value regardless of where you're at, but it is especially good if you are just getting started. The reason that I recommend it to everyone is that it really focuses in on the mental side of poker. The book is going to challenge you to say, maybe your A game, your very best poker, is winning you a lot of money. But what is your worst version of poker? What does that look like? How much money are you losing or not making when you're playing bad poker? And how do you avoid those scenarios? It's going to talk about how to choose a game, how to walk away, how to keep your mind right, how to deal with losses. Tons of good information in here. It's an older book, an older resource, but it passes the test of time. Excellent read. And again, if you are just getting started, number 1, give it a read. Okay, let's go to number 4. Number 4 on the list is DTO. This is a free application you can put on your phone, and it is a beauty. I've been using it for only about 3-4 months now, but it is excellent. It allows you to have a break at work where you have 5 minutes and just run some hands. You've always got your phone with you, so when you have downtime, you're sitting in a chair at a doctor's office, whatever it is, you can study poker. It's really easy to get into your day, and it's going to teach you when you are making positive expected value plays, which means you expect to win money by making that play over the long run. But the beauty of it is it will tell you, okay, what you did may have been a profitable play. Here is an even more profitable option. And you can see the analysis. You can run hands fixed. You can run them mixed. So you can say, okay, I want to replay that hand, play it exactly the same. Or you can say, I want to play that hand again. I don't care what you do, surprise me. And it might play it the same way. It might surprise you and do something different and challenge you to be like a whole new hand, basically. So really good. Highly recommend it. It is absolutely free, and that is the best price on this list. So get that one downloaded. Number 3, we are cracking the top 3. Number 3, this is a phenomenal resource. The Poker Workbook for hand reading and for live players. It is by James Split Suit Sweeney, and if you are unfamiliar with his work, he has a lot of stuff out there. This book is so good. It is about $70. When you go to purchase it, I'll say this, when I went to purchase it, I read the reviews and the comments, and tons of people said, well, he doesn't tell me what to do. I didn't learn anything. I don't know what to do. If that's how you feel after you've purchased this book, you're lazy. Do your work. So this book is really good. It's going to give you a scenario, and it's going to say, here's the bet that your opponent has. What would they make this bet with? So you now sketch out, hand ranges. So you're going to say, okay, would they raise with aces, kings, ace, king, all those things, and you go through that. And then it's going to say, now on the flop, they check. What are they going to check with? Are they checking with this hand? Are they checking with that hand? Would they raise this one? Would they bet that one? So you're going to think about hand ranges and what your opponent is doing. And later on in the book, it then gets more challenging or difficult, and it now says, what is your range? So it no longer says you have these cards. It now says, what is your range? What can you represent to your opponent? And then eventually you're going to get into doing both at the same time. Phenomenal book. It is going to absolutely explode your hourly expectation at the table. Once you understand how to hand read, you're going to be better at bluff catching. You're going to know when your opponent, one of the biggest values that you will get out of this, not only is bluff catching, but you're also going to be able to identify what kinds of hands you can get value from on a river. So if you get to the river and you say, what do they have? Your brain is able to put together the puzzle and say, they should have mostly these hands. I have an idea of where I'm at, and then think, do those combos make sense to try to get value from? Highly, highly recommend this. One of my absolute favorite books. I do not think you can do any better for $70 to improve your game than the Poker Hand Reading Workbook. Okay, we are at number 2. Number 2 on the list is Crush Live Poker with Bart Hansen. Now, Bart Hansen has a YouTube channel. And he does hand histories. I would say there's a new one almost every day. I try to watch one a day, and they are really good. He walks through all kinds of hand reviews with players. They'll call them in, and then he'll help them to discuss the hand. For some people, he's saying, well, did you think about that? Did you think about this? I wouldn't have done that. But even those ones where he's agreeing, he's still talking you through as an audience member to think through the hand. So even if he agrees, he's going to say, here's why that is a good play. Here's why we would want to do that. And the beauty of the way Bart Hansen analyzes these hands is he is really good at hand reading. He knows the theory of poker and can tell you how to be a solver for the most part, but what he is also really good at is combining it with exploitative play. So I was telling you about that book about how to get the most out of a situation. He is so good at identifying a weakness in someone else's game and saying, most live opponents at this stake are not doing X. Many of them are doing Y, and he'll tell you these things that will literally just print you money at the table. So absolutely free. Follow him on YouTube. I cannot give you a better YouTuber to follow. There's a bunch of good guys out there, but I think Bart is the best. If you are so inclined, he has a training site. I believe it is $50 per month, and I'm sure it's good. I've never used it myself. I watch these videos. I go through the hand history reviews, and they are phenomenal. You'll get a ton of value out of that. You are both analyzing hands with him, reviewing hands, being in poker situations, and thinking for yourself if you're following along before he gives you what he would do and why. All right, that brings us to number 1. But before we do number 1, I got to ask you, if you have not yet, please click those buttons, subscribe and like. Let's get this channel blowing up. Let's reach a bunch of people. And we want to get a lot of people trained, bring them along for the journey, show them what it's like to improve at poker. Okay, let's go to our number 1. It is Pio Solver or Pio Solver. And this is software. It's going to run you $250 for the basic model. I think it is worth every penny and then some. I probably would have paid a higher price. Maybe I wouldn't have initially, but now that I've used it, I would be willing to pay a higher price for it. It is phenomenal software. It's going to improve your game immensely. The beauty of this is you can write down a hand after you sit at the table, punch a bunch of things into your phone, and you're going to say, okay, I am reviewing this later. Did I do this right? Did I not? And the software is going to tell you what bet sizes you might want to think about using, which ones it recommends, how to stay balanced, what are the bluffs in your range, what should your opponent be doing, what should you be calling with, are you exploitable, are you not exploitable? And it is really going to be eye-opening to you guys. I know I got a ton of value out of realizing how often I was folding when I shouldn't have been. When you figure out how to train yourself, you put these hands into that software, you're going to get a ton of value, and just over and over and over and over. And once you can play like a robot and know what a robot should do, then all you have to do is ask yourself, is that the best line, or do I have a weakness that I can exploit instead? But it is going to help you prevent giving away a bunch of money. All right, guys, that is it for this one. Thanks for watching. Study hard, go make money at the tables, and I will talk to you again soon.